question frequently asked by many: can I get pregnant immediately when I deliver my baby? Or can you actually get pregnant when you are breastfeeding your baby? Or can you get pregnant when you've not received your first menstrual period after you deliver your baby? In today's video, we're going to find out if any of these three questions, the answer is a yes or no. And if it's a yes, how is it possible? If it's a no, well, good for you, and enjoy your motherhood and your new bundle of joy. So, I know last week, actually it's 2 weeks ago, yeah, thereabouts, we did that video part 1 of when can you travel as a CS mom, and I promised you a part 2. But this question has been bugging so many of you in my DMs. You guys are busting it open, asking if it's possible for somebody to get pregnant while they just delivered, before they get their first menstrual period, or if they're breastfeeding. And I think it's time today we talk about it. All right. So welcome back. It's Dr. Saru Pendo TV, and today on today's video, we're going to be discussing if it's possible for you to get pregnant when you're breastfeeding, or get pregnant before you get your first menstrual period after you've delivered your baby. So, is it possible for you to get pregnant before you actually get your first period? The answer is yes. I'm sorry, guys. I am sorry. I know. But I'm going to be telling you in details why it's possible for you to get pregnant before you even receive your first menstrual period after you've delivered your baby. Or it is also possible for you to get pregnant if you're still breastfeeding. And that brings us to the actual answer as to why you're told in your 6-week visit to the hospital after you've delivered, you should be able to choose your family planning that's going to work for you and your family. Why? Because what is the range usually for women to begin their fertility journey again, or even receive their menstrual period? When is it that you expect in the normal person? That is normally, the range is usually 6 weeks to 12 months. But some of us, we are lucky, thank God, we have this thing called lactational amenorrhea, which is you're not getting your period when you're breastfeeding. So for most of us who are doing exclusive breastfeeding, can actually extend this period of not getting your menses or your period up to 6 months. The minute the baby starts to feed, then you notice that your period is coming back. And then for the lucky ones, the one who have like a personal subscription with God, do get them maybe even after like a year or so. However, if you get your period after like the first bleeding, which was starting after you delivered, in 6 weeks has ended, anytime between 6 weeks to 12 weeks, that is actually totally fine. So lactation amenorrhea can actually reduce your chances of you getting pregnant while you're breastfeeding, because now you're not getting a period because of the hormone called prolactin, which inhibits ovulation to some point. So it makes you not release the egg. That is what basically means for the other viewers of mine who are not in the medical field. It does not, the hormone suppresses the other hormone that is supposed to be in place so that it can release the egg. So if the egg is not released, so even if you're having unprotected intercourse with your husband or your spouse or your partner, you're not likely to get pregnant. However, lactation amenorrhea does not necessarily mean that you're not going to get pregnant altogether. You could still be having lactation amenorrhea at 6 weeks or even 6 months and still get pregnant. How is this possible? Because there's some women who are still ovulating despite the fact that they're not getting their menses. And you can tell this by even your own body. If you know your cycle very well, you can tell when you're ovulating even when you've not started receiving your menses, because of this lactation amenorrhea. So yes, it is very possible for you to actually be pregnant while you're breastfeeding and you've not received your first menstrual period. It's a question that has been asked by most, and I know this is going to be helpful to some of you so that you can be actual at your 6-week checkup. Please do consult with your healthcare provider so that they can put you on a family planning if you're not planning on getting that other baby after this one that you're still lactating about. But if it was your part of your plan or your spouse's plan to get a baby as quick as possible. I mean, we listen, we don't judge. However, for a woman to get to their pregnant state hormonally, it takes about 6 months. So it is only wise for you to actually do the contraceptive, wait until 6 months, then have the other baby, instead of you just rushing into things because you really want to do it quick, yeah? Otherwise, I hope this video was helpful to you, and if you've listened until this part and you've not yet subscribed, liked or commented on this video, tell me, what was your eye? I want to know, majority of you ladies who are going to be watching this video, when did you have your first period after you had your baby, and how was it about? I think on the next one, after we do the part 2 of the other video up here, we're going to be discussing on actual, is it true or is it false that after you deliver you're going to have painful or less painful menses than you had before in your teens? Until next time, it's Dr. Sarah Pendo. Love and love.